Welcome to Millennials Zimbabwe, where we talk economic matters as they relate to Zimbabwe. Today we're talking capital markets, and with us is the Securities Exchange Commission Chief Executive, Mr. Tafadzwa Chinamo. Sir, thank you for your time.
Thank you. It's good to be on Millenniums, and you're most welcome to the Commission.
Appreciate it. Let's get straight into it. As a regulator, especially with capital markets, you've got to trace global standards, best practices. You've got to always benchmark with the environment outside of Zimbabwe. Let's talk about initiatives that you have going. For instance, I understand you've got alternative trading platforms that you've been working on end of last year. What is the motive behind that, and what is the operational framework you're trying to create?
Well, I think like you put it there, we're trying to keep pace with what's going on globally. And what you find in the developed part of the world at least, exchanges are being viewed slightly differently. In this country, I think what we have is that stock exchanges pretty much list securities, they help companies to raise money, and they're also the primary vehicles for actually trading those securities once they've been listed. Mm-hmm. Now, what's coming out is that as much as that is good, and I think for us it's worked very, very well, but what you find is that in any venture, especially in the capital markets, we try as much as possible to introduce competition. Competition, in our view, I think brings out the best out of everyone. And so specifically for the ATP or the alternative trading platforms, what has been found is that once securities have been listed on an exchange and they're in the hands of the various investors or various people who hold those shares, what is the best way or the best platform to trade those securities? The exchanges have the capability and the means to trade those shares, but also why not introduce competition in that arena? So really an ATP is a vehicle on which buyers and sellers can meet and interact and trade shares. Now, the question always comes is that, what mechanisms are put in place to ensure that, bad things don't happen in the trading of...
They're regulated efficiently, safely for the investor.
Exactly. So what you tend to find is that an ATP is a recognized platform, recognized in the sense that an authority like ourselves will license them and will register them. The process that we're going through right now is actually ensuring that the rules are in place and the modalities of ensuring that whoever we allow to do so is capable of doing that. In the process that we've always taken is that we've taken this to the market, so we've drafted some rules here, which we sent out to the market. Their comments have come back. Mm-hmm. Where we can, we've incorporated those comments. And right now, we've sent them to the Minister of Finance. And it's very soon that they should be published as the rules for ATP.
Now, I do understand early on, like 2014, there were initiatives for instance, the Zimbabwe Enterprise Market, which was also an alternative platform. How is that different from the ones you're trying to introduce now?
I think an ATP essentially is a trading platform. So it's if you've got securities of whatever nature or form, right? And it's a platform that enables someone who wants to sell those securities and someone who wants to buy those securities to meet, negotiate a price. It's a public platform. Now, they don't really deal or interact with the issuer of that security.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's the main difference. Whereas an exchange, an issuer goes to an exchange to raise money, right? And issue securities in exchange for money. Now, the ZIM, which is an initiative of the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange, they're saying they've seen a need that out there in Zimbabwe, there is a lot of small businesses. Yeah. There's various forms of raising capital, but perhaps one we've not explored is issuing securities or issuing shares in exchange for capital. So this is the avenue that ZIM wants to do. Now they're saying to themselves that, look, if we, right now on our main exchange, there's X number of companies out there. Maybe these small companies that are in need of capital, be it working capital or just to expand their businesses, the conditions there right now do not suit these small companies, or they find it very difficult to meet those requirements. So they want to come up with an exchange that caters for these small companies, and really the requirements will be such that your typical small business can actually go to this market, raise the necessary capital, and will not be bogged down or constrained by the rigorous requirements that are required on a normal exchange. So that will be the difference, that an ATP is essentially there as a trading platform. Yeah. So even for those small companies, once they've listed their shares on the main exchange,
they can also utilize the